such an energizing atmosphere to see thousands of young people gathering in the name of kindness. In fact, when I told one of my friends in Hyderabad that I'm coming to this conference, he was surprised. He said, "Are you really serious that youth are really interested in this kind of things?" Because he said, looking at the breaking news in the TV, he thought the youth are in the bars and pubs. There is violence, there is robbery, all kinds of negativities that we flood in the media. Because it is an exception, it makes it into the news. What is normal is kindness. Kindness is the norm, and violence is the exception. Unfortunately, people who are tuned to the news for a long time, they tend to normalize the exception, thinking that the whole world is violence. And conferences like this reignite our conviction that there is so much of kindness in the young people. This generation, especially the young people sitting here, you're all living in such exciting times when the country is on the rise. India has a very prominent place in the global scenario, and also your generation has unprecedented financial freedom. What I mean by financial freedom is, like, my grandfather had to take care of 14 children with one income. My father had to take care of 3 children with one income. And we had to take care of 1 or 2 children with two incomes. And your generation has lot of your basic problems solved already by the parents. But there is also a saying, when a man's basic problems are solved, he will become a problem for himself. Today we are all overwhelmed with boredom. What do I do? And at a very young age, we are searching for purpose in life, searching for meaning in life. And that is what propels a large number of young people today to come and volunteer. There is a very powerful undercurrent amongst the youth. Thousands of young people come and register on the website of Youth for Seva without any advertisements that they want to make a difference. They want to bring about positive change. But very often, while they have the intent, many times they get into just surface level activities, just to feel good activities. Like young people walk into orphanage, play with the kids, give some chocolates, take some selfies and post it in Instagram. And there the volunteering ends. But if you ask seriously what impact it has made in the life of those children, not really much depth in it. What Youth for Seva is trying to do is to design more structured volunteering programs so that the time you spend really makes a difference. And we align with the government programs also. For example, recently, central government announced a scheme called Karmic Cards for the construction workers. There are lots of benefits for construction workers here: health insurance, life insurance, scholarship for their children's education. But how many construction workers know about it? This is where at YFS we are engaging thousands of college students to work with these construction workers, create awareness about this, and enroll them in these programs. Similarly, there is a scholarship program called National Means Cum Merit Scholarship. This is for 8th standard students in government schools. And if they clear this exam, they get 12,000 rupees a year scholarship for the next 4 years. Now, while the scholarship is there, the children are not trained for the mental ability test. They are coming from slums, they're all first generation learners. They have no coaching. This is where educated volunteers like you can spend just 2 hours a week, just 2 hours a week for about 4 months, and you can enable a child to get the scholarship. You know what difference it makes in one child's life? In Hyderabad, there was a girl, she was working as a maid in 2 homes before coming to the school every day. After she got this scholarship, now her mother is not sending her to work as maid because she earns 12,000 rupees a year. That's the kind of impact you can make by organizing yourself and designing structured programs. Like that, there are many stories where volunteers have made an impact, and invite all of you to come and join hands in structured volunteering. Now, volunteering is something that every youngster is enthusiastic today, but not many sustain for long term. I always give the example of making palak sabji. When you buy palak, it looks very big bunch. But when you make sabji, only you get handful of it. And volunteers, if they have to sustain for long period of time, we need this mindset. Pujya Daji talked about the mindset required, the attitude. I'll just narrate 2 or 3 points that are extremely important to succeed as a volunteer. First and foremost thing is you must love the people you serve. Don't go with pity or sympathy, but go with love. The moment you love the people you serve, there is a very different kind of connectedness and your attitude changes. In one of the slum areas, we run a tuition center, and our volunteer once came and told me, Venkatesh, you've been telling me to go and teach spoken English there, but their own parents are sending these children to go and fetch water, to go and fetch kerosene oil, for all kinds of things. I literally have to beg these children to come to the class. If their own parents are not interested, why should I break my head? Then I told her, that's the very reason why you need to break your head. Because their parents are not concerned. You need to treat that these are your children. Only when we have this attitude of this entire Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam that we heard again and again, in practice we need to demonstrate that all these people are my own. That is the first and foremost thing. Second mindset required is to see the divinity in everyone. In fact, this is one message from Swami Vivekananda that inspired me a lot. He says, everyone is potentially divine. The purpose of education is to manifest that divinity, that perfection. And every child has the perfection. Can we see the seed in that and try to bring it out? I'll give you again a real life example. In Bangalore, there was a boy. He was not going to school. What he was doing is to dance in front of the funeral procession. In some of the communities, when they have funeral procession, they have children who dance in front of it and they are paid small money. So this boy was dancing in front of a funeral procession, and one of our Youth for Seva volunteers, she saw this boy. Well, this boy looks so bright. He should have been in school. So she spoke to this boy. He said, I want to go to school, but talk to my parents. So she went to his house, convinced the parents, and put him in a shelter home. Now, a few years later, the very same boy who was dancing in front of funeral, he completed 10th standard with 77% score, and later on he completed BCom and MCom also. Because this one volunteer saw that this boy has the potential. That is what I mean by seeing divinity. It is not really doing puja. Divinity is the perfection. Can we see the seed of perfection in everyone? That is the second important mindset change we need to have. And third and foremost thing is the humility. When you serve any community, go with humility. Because we are not doing anything extraordinary here. If you contemplate about your own life, we are all successful in life, not simply because of our own individual efforts. Entire society has contributed for my success. This awareness we need to keep. For example, you look at your school, the construction workers who built your school have not sent their children to school. Your office space, your own houses, everything. We are all educated at the expense of the poor. This is where Swami Vivekananda says, I hold every countryman a traitor who, having been educated at the expense of the poor, pays not the least heed for them. We are all educated at the expense of the poor. This Runa Prajna we say, the sense of social debt, once we internalize, then we know that volunteering is a very humble act. There is absolutely nothing to feel proud about it or arrogant about it. So these three things about love, seeing divinity, and going with humility. With these three qualities, when we get into volunteering, you truly expand your consciousness. We feel connected with the entire creation. And there is immense joy when you volunteer, when you make a difference in somebody's life. We all experience the sense of joy which is uncomparable to anything else. So the journey in volunteering, just to sum it up, a lot of people, they are not even conscious that they are not volunteering. That is the first stage. Raise awareness in them. At least they become conscious that they are not volunteering. The third stage is with consciously I start volunteering. With awareness, I start volunteering. Later on, when you feel connected with the entire society, you are filled with so much of joy within. Volunteering becomes unconscious. So, journey from unconscious not volunteering to conscious not volunteering, conscious and volunteering, and unconsciously volunteering. That's the state we all must reach. And I wish each and everyone a very joyful journey in volunteering. Thank you very much.